Will you stop making a bloody noise out there? You put me right off.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to another customer review from us. This time we're up in sunny Northumberland with farmer George Chapman, who's basically, he's going to give us his thoughts, his opinions on Claas's latest generation Arion 400 series tractor. So George, I mean, before we dive into this thing and find out what you think of it, what you really think of it, let's, put it into a bit of context. I mean, talk about your farm business. Tell us a little bit about that.
I farm roughly about 1,350 acres. Some's rented, some's owned, and some sort of contract, sort of shared farmed. Predominantly sheep and cattle. I make roughly 1,500 bales of silage a year and lead all my own straw from about 20 miles away.
So I'll play to keep you busy.
Oh, you could say that.
So who's involved in the farm then?
Predominantly me and a bit of casual work occasionally. On the shared farm, it's Mr. Clive Bewley. He owns the farm and I sort of manage it.
Obviously we mentioned we're in Northumberland, but just whereabouts in Northumberland are we?
You're 10 miles just below the Scottish border on the A68 and about 27 mile above Hexham, 30 mile above Newcastle.
Right, so on to this tractor then, the Arion 440. Now you were, along with a couple of others scattered throughout the UK, you were one of the very early users of this latest generation. So I mean, overall, how have you got on with the new Arion 400 series?
I like it. I think it's got slightly more power than the 430 that I used to have. I like the way that you can divert all the oil from the back end of the loader to give you more power and speed on the loader, because the old one didn't. It was a little bit slow and sluggish. But this one's very nice. You know, you switch the button, it moves a lot faster. Basically, it's a well-balanced, comfortable tractor.
And then in terms of options on it, did you specify anything in particular?
As long as it had air conditioning, the joystick controls with the transmission on the joystick, and the non-parallel loader, because I just prefer it being with the loader it's got on, and just do it by sight and by hand.
So just keeping everything a bit simple.
Yeah, simple, stupid, I sort of like, you know what I mean.
As long as you've got that air con, and we're all right then.
The air con, and we can keep going.
Right, so jobs wise, what would be your main jobs with this tractor?
The baling and leading straw from 20 mile away with a 28-foot bale trailer. Just, 30 round bales at a time, or whatever size shape bales we get, and just up and down the road, cutting grass as well. Any farm work, muck spreading, whatever I'm doing on the day.
Yeah, so would this be your main tractor then?
Oh, this is the main tractor. This is the office. It's like sitting in an armchair on this thing, like, as opposed to one or two of the others you bounce around a little bit on.
That's it. So you would definitely rate the comfort on this thing then?
Oh yeah, you can spend 16, 17 hours a day and still walk, like an old man when you get out, you know what I mean.
So this one then, how long have you been running it now? How many hours have you got on it?
220 roughly.
Right, so you're still just breaking her in, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. And then also on the farm, would you have any other tractors that are working alongside it at all?
Yes, I do. I've two other tractors.
Right. And
but they're not green ones. And there's an old International 685, I think it is.
All right, proper job.
Proper job was what was brought up on. We used to have nothing else but the Internationals.
Yeah.
Then we went McCormick's, because obviously we've been with Rickaby's 30 odd years. And then they went from McCormick's to Claas's, and then we had three of the 340 Claas's.
Right.
We've just found it wasn't quite enough in the engine. There was only 102 horse. When it was leading straw, we was a little bit slow on the hills, holding the traffic up. This is a different kettle of fish.
That's it. So, I mean, you say you've had a few Claas's now.
Yeah.
How have you got on with them overall over the years? Have you noticed much difference going from, you know, the first one to the next one to this one?
Yeah, there's always the progression. Technology. I mean, this one's got the telematics on it now, which you can look at your phone, see how much fuel you've burnt in the last day's work, and you know whereabouts you parked up. There's normally always near the house when I look at my phone, but there's always some sort of improvement. I mean, I think the biggest improvement's the fridge on the side for the cool drinks, especially when we've had the heat wave and bits and pieces like that. It's very nice to.
That's it. And you mentioned, well, obviously we talked about already. You've had a few Claas tractors now.
Yeah.
What is it that keeps you sort of going back to them? Really, what is it that attracts you to them?
Well, the comfort, the backup service from Rickaby's, you know, is fantastic. You know, the reliability of the tractor.
Would you say it's quite a bit more reliable than maybe some of your previous other makes of tractor at all, or? Yes,
they are very reliable, especially with a 5-year warranty that you get with them. You know, the peace of mind as well, really, I suppose. You can just pick up the phone and day or night, weekend, and you've got somebody at the other end if there's a problem.
That's it, backup's key, isn't it? So into a bit of techie stuff, really. I mean, engine-wise, I mean, I don't know. Can you just explain a bit of engine characteristics? What's it like? Pulling, lugging, shoving, pushing, climbing?
Well, on loader work, I mean, it's got no end of power. It'll pick up 2 or 3 2 bales very comfortably. If you're mucking out the shed, I presume you're pulling about, with the grab on, maybe 1.5 tons, 1 3/4 back out with you. I've not had it on the bale trailer yet because straw's running late, so that's the main job I like it for. Baling, it's got plenty of power on the baler. I mean, as you see, the fields are pretty flat, so you know it's going in C3. I'm not one of these fast baler drivers. I like to sort of go steady and put more into the bale, if you like.
That's it, get a proper shape bale.
A proper shape bale, none of these rugby shape bales like.
So, just moving back through the tractor, I mean, onto the gearbox. This will be 16 speed in this.
Yeah, that's correct.
How are you getting on with that?
Fine, it's fantastic gearbox. I just like it, you can flick it up and down the gears with the joystick on the road. But it's also got the other gear levers just on the side, so if you're sort of looking around the implements, you can just easily enough do it off the side.
So it's fairly flexible in terms of its ease of use.
It's easy use.
And you've got it on the joystick as well, haven't you?
Just on the joystick, it just, in case of flicking it forward, a little flick goes up a gear, a big flick jumps a complete range of 4. And, you know, you can't get any simpler than that.